Hello, welcome to Reach Strong. My name is Laura Fiorillo. Today I would like to talk about reading strategies. So these are what your children are going to use when they come across words that they do not know. Now I have here, this is my bookmark of all my reading strategies. I was a former first grade teacher of 12 years and taught these to my students every year. And now I'm a reading intervention teacher. So I use reading strategies not just with my first graders, but even second and third graders. Sometimes I mention them. They're all hanging up on my wall to my older kids as well that are having trouble figuring out words that they come to and not really knowing what to do when they come to words that they don't know. So I even see some of my older kids using them, so they can be helpful to everyone. But before we go into our reading strategies, I want to talk about the words that the kids need to know just all the time, especially our emergent readers, our readers that are just starting out. Sometimes they're called sight words, high frequency words, popcorn words. They're all the same thing. They're these sight words that students need to be able to read on their own and not have to use strategies to figure it out. So in my school, I use what's called a flip book. It's just index cards that are spiral bound, and we just kind of go through them. The kids need to memorize these words. I know a lot of people are against like drills and doing those kinds of things, but for some of these words like the, of, words that cannot be sounded out, it's super important that students just know these words. So you can do them on index cards and, put them on a little clip or have them in a notebook. But the students, especially these emergent readers, kindergarten, first grade, they need to memorize them. So I have lists that I use. There's like the Dolch list, the Fry list, so you can kind of choose. I have specific lists that I use, but definitely words that the kids need to know. And they have a certain order that they go in, so that way you can know that the students know these words. Now, back to reading strategies. So these are super helpful because a lot of times when kids are first starting to read, they'll come to a word they don't know and they kind of just look up at you like, can you just tell me what this word is? Or they go to the old, just sound it out. Now, a lot of times words cannot be sounded out, so we need to use other strategies to help us figure out a word. So, first one that we use, I think it's going to be backwards, is our eagle eye. Okay, so our eagle eye tells us to look at the picture to help us figure out the word. There are some words that are in the books where they're very hard for the students. Like if your kids are reading an A or a B book, they're not going to be able to figure out the word elephant on the page. That's why in the picture it's there. Sometimes, unfortunately, I have kids tell me that their parents cover up the pictures because they want the kids to be able to just read the words and not have to look at the pictures. Please do not do that. The pictures are there to help them. They need those pictures because if they're an A, a B, a C reader, they're not going to be able to figure out that word elephant. They need that picture there, okay? And they can use strategies along with that if they're still having trouble figuring out that word elephant, but those pictures are there to help them. They need to be able to look at them. And like I've spoken about before, you don't want them spending a really long time looking at the pictures, but if they're reading along and they're going through their story and they come to a word they don't know, our first strategy that we teach them is look at the picture. Now the picture is not always going to be able to help them, we know that, but that's one of the things that they can just do quick, and sometimes that will give them the answer of what the word is. And of course then they'll use the letters to make sure that their guess is correct, but that's one of the first things that we want kids to do. We want them to use their eagle eye to look at the picture to figure out the word. So that is our first reading strategy. I'm hoping to go live several times this week because we have 8 reading strategies. I have them all here on my handy dandy bookmark. When I was a first grade teacher, we used these all the time. The kids would keep them in their book baskets. They would have one in their folders when they're reading at home. My kindergartner going into first grade, she has one of these because they're super, super helpful because these emergent readers, they're going to come to a lot of words they don't know, and you don't want to have to tell them all the words. We need to give them strategies to help them figure it out. And our first one is our eagle eye, to look at the picture if we don't know what the word is and see if that can help us. So later this week, I'll be going over the rest. We have 8 altogether. If you ever have any questions, reading related, or you would like me to come and help you with different strategies to help your child to become a better reader, please reach out. I'd be happy to hear from you. So hope everybody's doing well.